about random variable. The random variable is a function. Usually we denote as capital X or capital Y. So X is a quantity from random experiment. A quantity from random experiment, meaning that X going to be a number. X can be expressed in terms of integer or decimal number. If X can be expressed in integer, for example, in this table we have 0, 1, 2, so it is discrete random variable. If the quantity, the number can be expressed in decimal number, for example, the data from height, weight, time, distance, all of them are continuous random variable. So we divide random variable into two different parts. Why? Because all the event come from data description and also probability chapter 8. So basically random variable is the combination between data description and chapter 8. Back to chapter 6, we have discrete data and continuous data. That's why in chapter 9, we have discrete random variable and continuous random variable. Okay, what we have, how can we describe the data if we have discrete or continuous data in chapter 6? We can see and we can find the mean, variance, standard deviation, median, and mode. So, since in chapter 9 we still have discrete and continuous, meaning that the question in chapter 9 can ask you to find mean, variance, standard deviation, median, and also mode. So, this is example of question they can ask you in chapter 9. Okay, combine with together chapter 8. Chapter 8 is probability. So probability we have random experiment. That's the random variable come from the random experiment. An event, a random event. The simplest event I can take, for example, I toss a coin twice. So the first toss I can get either head or tail. The second toss I can get either head or tail. So from this, the two tosses, I can get four outcomes, HH, HT, TH, or TT. So we have four outcomes, meaning that the sample space is 4. Okay, since chapter 9 is a part of chapter 8, so the question can ask you to find probability, meaning that for the whole question in chapter 9, they combine the two chapters punya soalan. Maksudnya soalan chapter 6 dia akan tanya dalam chapter 9 dan soalan chapter 8 pun dia suruh cari probability pun dia boleh tanya dalam chapter 9. Okay, back to this example. If we consider chapter 8, kita akan tengok beberapa outcome. Macam mana, how can we convert this example, this event into chapter 9. So chapter 9 dia akan label an event, capital X is event of getting ahead. Ingat, dia mesti quantity, something yang kita nak kira. So from the 4 outcomes, the number of getting ahead from the first outcome, head, the number of getting ahead is 2. The second outcome, the number bilangan untuk dapatkan head hanyalah 1. Similar to the third outcome, to get ahead adalah 1. For the last outcome TT, we have no head here. So the number of getting head is 0. So from that numbers, from that value, that's the value of X, the quantity of X. X can be 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, 2. Next, we are going to find the probability P. So what is the probability for getting 0 head? So getting 0 head just once. So 1 over sample space 4. So the probability here is 1 over 4. Okay, what is the probability for getting a head? For getting a head, outcome number 2 and outcome number 3. So we have 2 outcomes. So 2 over 4, simplify 1 over 2. Okay, lastly, for event for getting 2 heads, the only one for the first outcome, head. So this is 1 over 4. 1 over 4, probability for getting 2 heads. Okay, so this is the table that the question will give you for discrete random variable. So what you have to describe, how can you describe the data that the question give you? You have to know how to find the specific probability. You have to know how to find the mean, variance, mode, and also the median from the given data. That's the idea of random variable. Okay, now let's proceed. Before that, discrete versus continuous random variable. This is just to differentiate whether we are going to proceed with 9.2 or 9.3. That's very important. Kamu kena tahu macam mana nak bezakan subtopik yang diberi dalam soalan. Discrete or continuous?
Continuous.
Continuous.
C.
Discrete.
Discrete. E.
Continuous.
Continuous.
C. D. Salary, because we can get in cent, in ringgit, so it is continuous. E. Height, so we can get a point. It is continuous.
Continuous.
Okay. Right, 9.2. Okay, before we look at the examples in 9.2, let's look at the summary. What we have to know in discrete random variable. So this is the question. Actually, I summarized the chapter by using the type of question, the pattern of question. Okay, firstly, in discrete random variable, you have to know it has two different functions, probability distribution function. Usually we call it as PDF. Cumulative distribution function, usually we call it as CDF. Okay, this is the only property that you have to know, or the basic rule, the characteristic of PDF. The total of probability must be equal to 1. If the total of probability for that event is equal to 1, so it is a probability distribution function of discrete random variable. As I shown in this example, if you can count the probability, the total probability here 1/4 plus 1/2 plus 1/4 is equal to 1. So maksudnya example ini memang betul example untuk discrete random variable. Sebab dalam chapter 8 sebenarnya, if you can still remember, we have so many examples. Ada dalam bentuk Venn diagram, ada dalam bentuk table. So mana kita tak akan ambil semua example lah. Hanya certain example kita akan ambil. Example yang mana? Example yang akan memberikan total probability untuk event tersebut 1. Okay. So when we have to use this kind of property, there are 2 times that you have to use the property. The first one, when the question asks you to show that the given data is probability distribution function of discrete random variable. For example, question number 1 in your tutorial book. Question number 1, they give you the probability Px equals to x squared over 55. The question asks you to show that this probability is a PDF of discrete random variable, meaning that you have to sum up from x equals to 1 until x equals to 5 punya probability. Kalau total probability 1, maksudnya we have verified it is PDF. Okay, the second type of question that you have to use this property is when to find unknown variable. For example, question number 2, given to you the discrete random variable like this, show that k is 20/2. So what you have to do is you have to sum up the probability when x equals to 2 plus probability x equals to 3 plus probability x equals to 4 and probability x equals to 5. Adding up all the probabilities, make it equal to 1, then you can find the unknown variable k. Okay, that's the use of the property. Okay, the next one is the property for answering the question that asking you about the probability. For example, number 1, For question number 1, you have to find Px equals 3, Px greater than 2, until the last one, P from 1 until 3. I don't want you to remember and look at these properties because it's not going to work if you just remember the formula of the properties tapi tak faham pun macam mana nak dapatkan daripada soalan. So saya nak kamu ignore, so far ignore dululah yang bahagian sini. The very important part is the skill untuk jawab soalan discrete random variable. First step I want you to do is construct table. So actually, because we can see all these probabilities straightforward daripada table tu sendiri. Kalau dia kata nak x equal to 2, we can get straightforward daripada table. Kalau soalan tu nak find Px greater than 1, for example, kamu boleh ambil probability x equals to 2 yang ini tambah dengan probability x equals to 3. So you don't have to use the property number 2. Jadi it's not very important for you to know all these properties. Just understand and refer to your table. That's why in the first step, untuk jawab soalan discrete, mesti buat table dulu. Okay, this is the presentation of discrete random variable. We can write in table or piecewise function or in a graph. Okay, biasanya soalan akan bagi dalam bentuk table ataupun piecewise function begini. Okay, now let's focus on graph. How can we sketch the graph of PDF here? Okay, as you can see the data from the piecewise function, it is x equals to 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3. Back to chapter 5 dulu, kita belajar dalam SEM 1, the type of graph. We have 10 types of graph: constant, linear graph, quadratic, and so on. Kalau tengok pada dia punya equation sini, x equals to 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3, this is a constant graph. Okay, once again, back to chapter 5, we have 2 types of constant graph. Whether we have in horizontal way, y equals to 3, for example, and the first type of graph in the vertical way, when we have x equals to 5, for example. So if you look at this type of function, x equals 1, 2, and 3, it shows that we have to sketch the graph of constant graph with the first type. Yang ini, vertical line. So when x equals to 1, this is a straight line, vertical straight line. X equals to 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3. Cuma sampai tinggi mana yang kita nak buat, dia akan tengok pada nilai y lah. X equals to 1 from x-axis until y 1 over 4. So before that, you have to, this is the y-axis, represent the y-axis. You have to use the constant scale. Kalau sini nak gunakan 1 over 8, ini 2 over 8, 3 over 8, 4. For di sini, so kita akan stop di sinilah. Jadi dia vertical graph daripada x-axis naik ke atas sampai 1 over 4. Okay, untuk graph yang kedua, when x equals to 2, the vertical graph, okay, sampai tinggi mana kita nak pergi, tengok dia punya nilai y, 1/8. So 1/8 di sini. Jadi kita akan buat straight line, vertical line sampai 1/8. Untuk yang last kali, x equals to 3, 5 over 8. Yang ini. Okay, versus the second one, CDF. Ini graph CDF. Okay, graph CDF, senang kalau kamu nak sketch graph, kalau kamu faham dia punya piecewise function. Okay, kalau tengok pada piecewise function, fx represent the y-axis. So it is actually y equal to 0, y equals to 1 over 4, y equals to 3 over 8, y equals to 1. So back to the constant graph, when we have y equal to 0, y equals to 1 over 4, y equals to 3 over 8. This is all the constant graph with a horizontal line. Sebab tu dalam CDF, semuanya horizontal line. When y equals to 0 here, y equals to 1 over 4, second line, y equals to 3 over 8, third line. Patutnya kat sini kena completely label the constant scale 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4 until 1. Okay, semuanya horizontal horizontal line. Okay, lepas tu tengok pada dia punya range x less than 1. So from negative infinity until 1. Be careful with the sign. It is excluded, so kena buat empty circle dekat situ. Untuk yang y equals 1 over 4, straight line daripada 1 include sampai 2. So 1 sini include sampai 2 exclude. Okay, continue dengan 3 over 8. 3 over 8 katakan di sini line dia. It starts from x equal to 2. So 2 dekat situ masuk. 3 exclude sebab tu ada empty circle dekat situ. So when x greater or equals to 3, yang ini, when y equals to 1. Okay, saya akan ajar macam mana kita nak buat dia punya expectation and variance. Okay, mod is the value of x where the x has the highest probability. So, nak dapatkan mod mesti datang daripada PDF sahaja. Kalau soalan bagi CDF, kamu kena cari PDF dulu, barulah tengok highest probability. So back to this example, highest probability dekat sini siapa? 5 over 8 kan? So mod dia adalah 3. Nilai x yang mempunyai highest probability. Median pula dia opposite. Dia mesti datang daripada CDF. So kalau soalan bagi PDF, kena cari CDF dia dulu, baru boleh proceed dengan dia punya median. I'll show you how can we get the median. Okay, this is the formula for mean, the summation of x times its own probability. So let's say you have a table here, 1, 2, 3. This is the x, this is the probability, let's say 0.1, 0.5, 0.4. So the method to find mean is just x times its own probability, 1 times 0.1 plus 2 times 0.5 plus 3 times 0.4. You multiply each of these and adding up the value. So 1 times 0.1 plus 2 times 0.5 plus 3 times 0.4. Okay, variance, it is summation of x yang square dulu, baru darab dengan P. Tolak dengan yang expectation number tadi. Dan di-squarekan value tersebut. Okay, that's all for the overview of discrete random variable. Ini idea nak dapatkan daripada PDF. Pergi CDF. CDF adalah kumulatif. Idea dia datang daripada chapter 6. Dulu kalau dalam chapter 6, let's say I have a data like this. And I have the frequency for each class, 3, 7, 4. The only way to get the cumulative frequency, we adding up the frequency from current class with the previous class. So kalau yang ni current class 3, cumulative frequency dia. So previous class 3 plus current class 7, jadi total dia 10. Okay, 10 plus 4 we get 14. Okay, we use the same idea for finding the CDF, cumulative distribution, in this chapter. So for the first class, 0.25 X class 0.5 is 0.75. Ini kalau dia suruh cari cumulative distribution or cumulative distribution table. Sekiranya soalan suruh cari cumulative distribution function, kamu perlu convert table pergi ke piecewise function. Okey, cumulative bermaksud kita cumulate daripada the lowest value up to the biggest value. Since ini adalah probability, kita akan tambahkan dia dari 0 sampai 1. And then the first CDF yang kamu dapat di sini 0.25, masukkan je lah di bawah. Next 0.75. Next is 1. Ingat dia mesti start dari 0 sampailah 1. Okay, now we have to write the range. X less than something ataupun X greater than something. Tengok pada 0.25 dulu. It okay, yang 0.75 CDF 0.75 1. Probability CDF is 1 when X equal to 2. 2 and above. Jadi yang lain tu kamu hanya perlu fill in the blank sahaja. Kalau sini dia akan start dengan 1, so sini 1 lah. Kalau sini start dengan 2, letak sini 2. Kalau sini start dengan 0, letak sini 0. X less than 0. X less than 0. So nombor dekat sini mesti tally, sama. Okay, itu sahaja cara untuk buat CDF. Dia punya sign of inequalities remain the same ya. Untuk first class less than, untuk second class mesti begini, third class mesti begini, yang last kali mesti begini. Cuma dalam setiap soalan dia akan ubah-ubah kamu punya nilai X tu lah. Ini mesti sama dengan sini, yang di sini mesti sama dengan di sini, yang ni mesti sama dengan dekat sini. Okay, simple sahaja. Okay, tengok yang second one, daripada CDF pergi ke PDF. Kalau tadi dari PDF pergi ke CDF, kita buat hasil tambah. So, dari CDF pergi PDF, terbalikkan sahaja, kita tolak. Tolak dari belakang. Tolak dari belakang. 1 tolak 0.9, jadi 0.1. 0.9 tolak 0.67. Berapa?
0.23.
Okay, seterusnya 0.67 minus 0.32.
0.35.
Next.
Zero point 1.2.
1.5.
So yang depan ni samalah. Sama macam yang CDF tadi, depan dia mesti sama. Okey. Sekiranya soalan minta probability distribution table, boleh bagi dalam bentuk table lah. Tapi kalau dia minta dalam bentuk function, bagi dalam bentuk piecewise function. Ambil saja senarai nombor yang ada dalam table kita kira tadi, masukkan 0.2. When X equals to 1, 0.12. When X equals to 2, 0.35. when x equals to 3, 0.23 when x equals to 4, 0.1 when x equals to 5. Is it clear? PDF pergi CDF tambah, CDF pergi ke PDF tolak. The next example. The probability distribution function of a discrete random variable x is given by Px equals to x. This is discrete random variable. Remember, my first advice, you have to construct table. Easier to proceed with the next part. So this is the x. This is the probability. Okay, list down all the x first, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, substitute the value of x respectively to get the probability. So remaining k dekat depan ni, for every probability ada masih ada k. 4 minus 0 is 4. Okay. K, 4 minus 1 is 3. K, 4 minus 2 is 2. K times 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, find the value of k. A. The idea is total all the probability must be equal to k, 2k plus k equals to 1. So 4, 4, 8, 10. 1 over 10. Okay, next example B. Find the cumulative distribution function. So if the question mention function, you have to express your answer in piecewise function. Okay, sebelum tu it's better for us to replace k . Kita buat table dulu CDF ni. Nanti kita convert pergi ke function. Ada k, so for 3 over 10, 2 over 10. Please help me to find the CDF. Anyone, CDF? Come on, CDF. The first class is 4 over 10.
4 over
Next.
10, 7 over 10, 9 over 10, 1.
1. Okay, convert pergi ke CDF dalam bentuk function. Remember, we have to start with 0, end up with 1. The remaining in the middle value here from the table, 4 over 10. Simplify your answer, it is 2 over 5, 7 over 10, 9 over 10, and then 1. Sekali satu. Okay, for the value of the range on right hand side here, kita akan masukkan 0, 1, 2, 3. 2 over 5 ni when x equals 0, x equals 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3. Okay, yang ni letak dia punya simbol. Kalau yang tengah-tengah mesti macam ni. So in the middle dekat bahagian hujung sini, ambil nombor yang selepas. Sini 2, sini 2, sini 3, so sini 3 lah. Yang atas mesti x less than 0. Nombor dia mesti sama. Yang last kali mesti x greater or equal to 3. Okay, seterusnya. Part C. Part C. Okay, A kita dah jawab. A, PDF tadi dah dapat. CDF sudah. Soalan D. Okay, part D. Find the probability from 1 until 4. So dia nak 1 sampai 4 tapi 1 dengan 4 excluded. Maksudnya yang dia nak PX equals to berapa?
2 plus
2
2
and?
and 3. 3.
2 and 3. So straightforward from table, probability Px equals to 2 is 2 over 10. X equals to 3 is 1 over 10. So 2 over 10 plus 1 over 10.
3 over 10.
Alright, thank you. Okay, soalan seterusnya E. Find the probability Px less than or equals to 1, meaning that Px equals, from the table, x less than or equal to 1, meaning that x equals to 0 and
And
x
1.
equals to 1. So 4 over 10 plus 3 over 10.
7 over 10.
7 over 10.
Okay. Part E, settle F and G, sketch the graph of PDF and graph of CDF. F dulu. Ingat ni PDF yang vertical line tu. Kalau yang CDF dia horizontal line. Okay, PDF dulu. Kita set dulu dia punya scale. Since semua over 10, so I use 2 over 10, 4 over 10, saya gunakan scale 2, 2, 2. So you can use your ruler untuk lebih elok lah. 2 over 10, 4, 6, 8, 1. Mesti constant scalar. X yang kita ada 0, 1, 2, 3. X 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, label exists X and this is the probability PDF. Okay, look at the table. When X equals to 0, I need to copy somewhere dulu. Copy the probability. When X equals to 0, PDF dia 4 over 10. X equals to 1, 3 over 10. X equals to 2, 2 over 10 and 1 over 10. Okay, let's plot the graph. When X equals to 0, the probability is 4 over 10. So we have to draw a straight line until 4 over 10. Sini. When X equals to 1, from the table, the probability is 3 over 10. So in between 2 and 4, somewhere here. Tarik ke bawah. Straight line. When X equals to 2, the probability is 2 over 10. So 2 over 10 here. Sini, plotkan, tarik ke bawah. Vertical graph. When X equals to 3, probability is 1 over 10. So 1 over 10 is smaller than 2 over 10. So somewhere in the middle here. Dia lebih pendek lah. Okay. Graph untuk G pula, CDF. So kita kena refer pada kita punya CDF tadi. 0, tadi 0, 0.4, 0.7, 0.9 dengan 1. So I use the same scale. 2, 4, 6, 8, 1. 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1. This is the CDF versus X. Ini kosong, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's plot the graph. Yang CDF kosong ni tadi happens when X less than 0. Sini 0 until 1, 1 until 2, X between 2 until 3, X greater than 3. Okay, this is the horizontal graph, y equals to 0. So y equals to 0 adalah x-axis. Di sini, di atas x-axis. It happens from negative infinity up to 0. So 0 to exclude, buat empty circle. Okay, seterusnya, x equals to 0, y equals to 0.4 here. Starts from 0, continue dari sini, naik atas. 0 sekarang include, sampai 1 exclude. Okay, continue naik atas lagi 0.7. 1 sekarang masuk. Terus sampai kedua exclude. Naik atas lagi 1. Sorry, 0.9. 0.9 from 2 until 3. Ini 0.9. Okay, sekarang lastly daripada sini naik atas pergi 1 terus ke infinity. Itu cara graph dan we can see the difference, the opposite graph of PDF and CDF. Any questions so far?
No, madam.
Madam, yang data distribution tu apa? Memang dia sentiasa menaik bahkan?
Yang CDF, ya, sentiasa menaik.
Oh.
Madam,
Sebab dia mesti start dari kosong, maksimum dia mesti naik pergi 1. Ya, soalan lain?
Madam,
Madam,
Ya. Dan dia
Madam.
mesti atas bawah dia sama. Sambungan dia tu pada point yang sama. Dan zigzag jugalah. Ya,
what
siapa
if
nak tanya tadi?
kalau denominator dia tidak sama? Macam tidak boleh simplified.
I think it's better for you to just convert to decimal. Senang nak nampak dalam graph nanti. So doesn't matter dia jadi 2/10 ke 3, lepas tu dia jadi 3/9. Kamu ambil dia punya decimal lah, senang. Yang ini senang dalam bentuk decimal. 0.2, 0.4.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Dia punya fraction.
Okay, madam.
Any other questions? No.
Madam,
Let's-
if the X
Ya.
tidak mula dari 0, patut kita tulis dari 0 aja kalau dalam jadwal tu.
Kalau CDF, mesti start dengan kosong. F besar ni mesti kosong dan 1. Ini kita yang letak sendiri sebab ini syarat untuk CDF. Sebab dalam table memang tak akan nampak kosong tu. Ni table ni. CDF memang tak akan nampak kosong. Tapi ini dia punya rule dia. Logically, probability mesti datang dari kosong sampai 1.
Okay. Faham sah? Okay, madam.
Right, soalan seterusnya saya ambil daripada tutorial nombor 11. This is past year question. A discrete random variable X has a probability distribution function given to you the discrete. Nampak perkataan discrete, PDF, terus buat table. So X, PX. Follow dia punya simbol. Kalau soalan guna P besar, we use capital P. Kalau dia guna P kecil, gunalah P kecil. So let's list down all the X first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then substitute the probability when X equals to 1, 2 power of 4 over 32. 2 power of 4 over 32. When X equals to 2, so replace in, I hope you can see it. X equals to 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 2 power of 3 over 32. When x equals to 3, 5 minus 3 is 2, so 2 power of 2 over 32. When x equals to 4, 5 minus 4 is 1, so 2 power of 1 over 32. Lastly, k. Okay, show that k equals to 1 over 6. So you have to use the properties. Total of probability must be equal to 1. Adding up all the probabilities. So 2 over 4 is 16 over 32 plus 2 over 3 is 8 over 32. 2 squared is 4 over 32. 2 power of 1 is 2 over 32 plus k equals to 1. So the total for the left-hand side here is anyone?
15 over 16.
15 over
15 over
16 plus k equals to 1. So 1 minus 15 over 16, 1 over 16 kan?
Yeah,
Sure.
madam.
Right, the second question, find the probability from 1 until 3. Dia nak 1 include, 3 exclude. Maksudnya dia nak x equals to
Equal to 1 to 2.
n x equals to 2.
To 2.
So straight away from table, 2 over 4 is 16. 16 over 32. This one, 2 power of 3 is 8. 8 over 32. Total? Anyone?
3 over
3
4.
over 4.
3 over 4?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Soalan yang seterusnya, find mean and hence calculate e to x minus 3. If you forgot the formula of mean, let's go back to summary. Mean, or sometimes they call it as expectation, summation of x times px. Macam saya tunjuk dalam table tadi, x darab dengan dia punya p masing-masing dan tambah semua hasil darab tadi. Very simple. So, as you can see, mean or this symbol, summation of x times its p. Jadi better kita refer pada table balik tadi. 1 darab dengan 16 per 32, 2 darab dengan 8 per 32, and so on. So dalam the same page, senang sikit nak kira. So 1 times 16 over 32 plus 2 times 8 over 32 plus 3 over 4 over 32 plus 4 times 2 over 32 plus k tadi 1 over 16. Anyone? The mean?
$27 over 16.
27 over 16. Let me check the answer. Question 11. 11. Bukan berapa tadi? 27? Jawapannya 31 over 16.
Yang last tu times 5 madam.
Oh ya, lupa. Okay. Thank you. Cuba kira balik. Is it 31 over?
31 over 16.
16.
Yeah, madam, 31
Alright,
over 16.
Okay, thank you. Soalan yang seterusnya. This is the properties of expectation. Let's go back to summary once again. The properties of expectation says that if the E bracket AX plus B is going to be, keluarkan A. Keluarkan A darab dengan EX tambah dengan B. Okay, follow the formula. Take out 2. Minus 3. So 2 7/8, betul tak?
Ya, madam.
Betul, madam.
Betul, madam.
Okay, 7/8. Okay, seterusnya soalan suruh cari variance dalam soalan B. Okay, variance, write down the formula first. Variance of S equals to EX square minus EX yang square. EX yang ini datang daripada mean. So, saya telah bahagian belakang. Yang X square ini adalah summation of X square yang darab dengan P. So, X tu kena square dulu baru darab P. Meaning that, kita cari X, EX square dulu. Nanti baru masuk dalam formula. 1 squared times berapa tadi, 16 over 32 plus 2 squared times 8 over 32 plus 3 squared times 4 over 32 plus 4 squared 2 over 32 plus 4 1 over 16. Okay, cuba kira dia punya EX square berapa?
Thirty-one over 8.
One over 8, nanti tolak dengan yang min tadi kita dapat 31 over 16.
Thirty-one over 256.
30, bukan 367 ke? Apa ni sepatutnya 12 squared. So dekat sini betulkan bahagian depan ni. Nanti boleh proceed. Depan di sini, masukkan di sini. Dapat jawapan. I want to show the 3 more examples dalam 2 minit lagi. Kalau soalan suruh cari standard deviation, so standard deviation adalah square root bagi variance. Okay, you can find it by yourself nanti. Kalau soalan tu suruh cari mode, mode is the value of x. X equals to something. X equals to what? When it has the highest probability. Mesti refer pada PDF sahaja. Okay, back to table. What is the highest probability dekat sini? 16 over 6.
1.
16/32 kan. So dia punya mode adalah 1. Itu cari dia punya mode. Soalan yang last dia suruh cari median. So x equals to 1. Okay, median mesti refer pada CDF sahaja, dia punya F besar. Okay, dalam soalan A, B, C, D, kita langsung tak ada kira dan cari dia punya CDF. So, kena cari orang tak suruh. Jadi 16/32. 16 plus 8 is 24/32. Ni 24 plus 4, 28/32. 30/32. Sini 1 lah. Okay, one thing I have to know from CDF ini adalah 16/32 ni kalau dalam desimal 16/32 is 0.5. 16/32 is 0.5. Bermaksud dalam kelas yang pertama berlakunya ini 0.5. Berlakunya CDF 0 sampai 0.5. Okay, untuk kelas yang kedua 24 bahagi 32 adalah 0.75. Bermaksud 0.6 sampai 0.75 CDF dia berada di sini. Seterusnya untuk kelas yang ni 0.76 dia sambung. 0.76 sampai 28/32. 28/32 adalah
0.875.
0.75. Okay. So 0.876 sampai 30/32 0.9375. Maksudnya yang last ni 0.9376 sampai 1 berada di sini. Okay, bermaksud 0.5 berada di kelas yang pertama. Jadi nilai X dia adalah 1. So median X equals to 1. Itu cara cari median. Tengok pada dia punya CDF, range dari mana sampai mana untuk setiap kelas. I want to continue with the second type of question. What if the question give you CDF? How can we answer all the question? Previous example is the question give you the PDF. We find all the probabilities, the mean, variance, and also the mode median. For this example, they give you CDF. How can we get the probability, the median, mean, standard deviation, mode, and how can we sketch the graph for CDF? Okay, let's look at this example from lecture note. The cumulative distribution function fx of a discrete random variable x is shown as below. This is your CDF. Find the px equals to 3. So if the question gives you CDF, you have to use CDF to find the probability. Okay, kalau nak cari dia punya PDF, you have to know this formula. From the definition of CDF, CDF is actually the summation of probability, the previous probability up to the current class. Can you see that if I subtract F3 minus F2, I will get Px equals to 2. Okay, let me explain. For question E, from question E, F3 is equal to summation of probability x equals to 1 until x equals to 3. F2 is the summation of p x less than or equal to 2, meaning that we adding up px equals to 1 and Px equals to 2. So the question asks you to find Px equals to 3, meaning that we have to subtract F3 and F2. F3 minus F2 to get Px3. So this is the calculation or the working solution. You just have to show. Yang this part tak perlu show pun untuk faham sendiri sahaja. So F3 from the table 0.67 minus 0.32. So the answer is 67 minus 0.32, 0.35. Okay, what if the question asks you to find Px greater than 2? Meaning that we have to focus on Px equals to 3, 4, and 5. Or in other way, the alternative way, I can think about 1 minus Px equals to 1 minus Px equals to 2. Because we just want to find the probability from 3 and until 5. Dan kita nak 3 dan ke atas. Yang depan ni kita tidak mahu. 1 dengan 2 ni tak nak. Jadi, how can we relate with CDF? CDF untuk 1 dan 2 ini adalah F2 tadi. F2 adalah hasil tambah antara Px equals to 1 dengan Px equals to 2. So this is 1 minus bracket Px equals to 1 plus Px equals to 2. So 1 minus F2, which is 1 minus F2 is 0.32, which is equals to 0.68. Okay, soalan C. Find probability from C from 2 until 4. So F berapa? Tolak F berapa? Okay, kalau ikutkan dia nak 2 sampai 4. Apa yang dia mahukan? Dengan apa yang dia tidak mahu? Tolak, buang mana yang dia tidak mahu. Okay, since dia nak dari bawah sampai atas, maksimum dia 4, F4, dia tak nak 1 kan, sebab dia nak 2 sampai 4, so dia tak nak 1. So buanglah F1. F4, 0.9 minus 0.2 is 0.7. Okay, senang je kalau nak fikirkan macam tu. Kalau soalan tu kata contoh lain, find P from 2 x less than or equals to 4. Okay, macam mana nak fikirkan tentang ini? Dia nak F4. Tolak, sebab F4 ni adalah tambah antara x equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Sini ada 1, 2, 3, 4. Yang dia nak 3 dengan 4 je. So dia tak nak 1 dengan 2. Jadi kita kena tolak 1 dengan 2 ni. F2. Dia tak nak 2 dan ke bawah. Itu cara dia nak fikirkan tentang apa yang dia nak dengan apa yang dia tak nak. Kalau tak faham cara ni, boleh gunakan senarai F1, F2, F3 yang macam saya tunjukkan di awal example tadi. F1 is Px equals to 1. F2 is Px equals to 1 tambah Px equals to 2. F3 is Px equals to 1 tambah Px equals to 2 tambah Px equals to 3. Macam tu, you can think about like this. Kalau tak faham cara yang dia mahu yang tolak yang dia tak mahu tu. Okay, seterusnya dia suruh cari median dalam soalan D. Kalau median, ingat kita mesti kena dapatkan daripada CDF. Must refer to CDF, which is the capital F. Luckily, kita dah ada dia punya CDF. So you have to understand for the first class, the CDF happens from 0 until 0.2. So second class, dia start dengan 0.21 sampai 0.32. Okay, third class, dia start dengan 0.33 sampai 0.67. Kelas yang seterusnya, dia start dengan 0.68 sampai 0.9. Seterusnya, dia start dengan 0.91 sampailah 1. So, cari di mana median untuk nilai apa. Apakah nilai X untuk 0.5. So, 0.2 sini. So, sinilah 0.5 berada di sini. So, kita punya median adalah 3. So, the median is X equals to 3. Okay, expected value mesti refer pada PDF sahaja. Kita kena ada PDF. Sebab apa? Sebab formula dia summation of X yang darab dengan dia punya probability masing-masing. Jadi, walaupun soalan tak suruh cari, kita kena cari semua PDF dulu baru boleh dapatkan dia punya expected value. So let's find the PDF. Saya construct saja table sambung di bawah. Okay, 0.2. 0.3 tolak 0.2. 0.32 minus 0.2. 0.12. 0.67 minus 0.32, 0.35, 0.9 minus 0.67, 0.23, 1 minus 0.9 is 0.1. Okay. So, nak dapatkan dia punya expected value, soalan E. X darab dengan dia punya P. So, 1 times 0.2 plus 2 times 0.12 plus 3 times 0.35 plus 4 times 0.23 plus 5 times 0.1. So, the answer is 0.2 plus 0.12 plus 3 times 0.35 plus 4 times 0.23 plus 5 times 0.1. So 2.91 for the mean. Okay, soalan seterusnya dia suruh cari standard deviation. Standard deviation adalah square root bagi variance. So you have to find the variance first before you can get the standard deviation. Soalan F. Find the variance first with the formula sum E X yang square tolak EX yang square. That's the different thing. Okay, so kita cari dulu EX yang square. X yang square. So 1 squared times 0.2. Remember dia punya PDF tadi 0.2, 0.12, 0.35, 0.9 minus 0.23, 0.1 plus 0.2 squared times 0.12 plus 3 squared times 0.35 plus 4 squared times 0.23 plus 5 squared times 0.1. Then the answer is 10.01. Okay, and then the variance is 10.01 minus mean. Mean we get 2.91 squared. So the answer is 1.54. So the standard deviation is square root 1.54, 1.24. Okay, mode. How can we get the mode? Mode is the value of x where it has the highest probability. So by looking at all the probabilities, this is the highest one. Jadi mode dia adalah 3. X equals to 3. And then sketch the graph of CDF. Saya dah tunjuk dalam previous example. That's all. Thank you.